し生まれ変わったらその時はさ
Okay, love, so welcome back to another video. This one is not what I planned to do today. However, Alana just finished this and she wanted me to read it, and I wanted to read it on camera, and so she said I could. So she could not post it on Wattpad because I don't know, something's wrong and it won't let her post it, so she's just sent it in a text. So that's why I'm reading it, so you guys can't go see it, but if she does, I will definitely link the video. So like I don't know. Okay, this one is called Some Villains Don't Get a Choice. I do not know how many chapters long it is. She did number them. There's 10 chapters. This one is quite long. I want to say there's about 6,000 words. I can't really tell, but this is kind of what 6,000 words looks like. I have wrote 6,000 before, but that's besides the point. Okay. So first, details. Your quirk is called Sonic Boom, and every time you speak, it makes a big shockwave, causing things to go flying or be destroyed instantly every time you use your quirk. You can't hear, you can hear, but you were born deaf. You can hear, but you were born deaf. Why do I keep saying? You can hear, but you were born deaf, and you can command someone to do something or not do something. Like you can say don't move, or you can say stay back, or go away, or come closer. They'll listen to you. So you don't know, it says you never knew you had this ability to command people because you were scared to use your quirk that you would hurt people. So you're scared to hurt people, so you don't use the quirk. Okay, yeah, but by the way, this is not an ex-listener. This is just like you're, in the story. Like, okay. Chapter 1, Beginning. So there you are, like normal, reading a book at lunch by yourself on the rooftop of your school. You laugh a bit, but then you instantly cover your mouth so you don't accidentally activate your quirk. Then you see a green-haired boy crying. You get worried, so you walk up to him and tap him on his shoulder. He jumps and screams a little. You sign, "Are you okay? Do you need help?" You say with your hands, with a worried look on your face. "I can't understand you," the green-haired boy says, wiping his tears away. You go to your backpack and grab your notebook to write it down. "Are you okay? Do you need help?" You're holding up your notebook for him to see. He writes down, "Yeah, I'm okay, just sad and tired." You write, "Do you need a hug, if that's okay with you?" You hold your arms out in a hug position, but he can still see the notebook and nods as he walks into your arms. You hugged him tightly for a few minutes, then you can feel that his heart rate is slowing down, and you see that he has fallen asleep, so you pick him up bridal style. "Ow, he's really light," you thought. You walk to a corner where you were reading your book, and you set down the green-haired boy on top of you, then go back to reading your book. You feel the vibrations of the school bell signaling that lunch has ended, but you see the green-haired boy has not woken up, so you just leave him there, still reading your book. A few hours you had fallen asleep, but then you felt the vibrations signaling the end of school. You didn't have to go home or anything, but you didn't know about the green-haired boy on top of you sleeping peacefully. You thought, it seems like he doesn't get much sleep, so you just let him sleep until he woke up. You got back to reading your book, and 3 hours later, at 5:30, you now felt him moving, and you move your book to see a sleepy green-haired boy look at you. You wave to him saying, "Hi." He realizes that he's on top of you and gets off quickly. "Oh, I'm sorry," he says, backing up. "No, it's okay. What is your name?" You sign to him. Can you write it down? I don't understand. Sorry," he says, walking towards you and sitting down. "What is your name?" You write down, showing him the notebook. "Oh, my name is Izuku Midoriya. What's your name?" He writes down and gives you the notebook. "My name is YN Ellen." You write down, giving him the notebook back. "What is your quirk?" Izuku writes down and gives you the notebook. "My quirk is called Sonic Boom. Every time I speak, I can make a big shockwave, causing things to go flying or be destroyed instantly, no matter how or little loud I speak. Every time I use my quirk, I can hear, but I was born deaf." You write down, giving him the notebook. "Oh, wow, that's so cool," he says happily, writing down in his hero notebook. You then asked, "What is your quirk?" giving him the notebook back. "Oh, I don't have one," he wrote down sadly. "That's awesome. I wish I didn't have a quirk," you wrote down, giving him the notebook back. "What? Your quirk is awesome. I wish I had your quirk," Izuku writes down, giving him the notebook back. "Well, I guess if you don't want to speak for the rest of your life," you write down, giving him the notebook back. "Well, it's getting dark. You should go home, and if you need a hug or somewhere to sleep, or just to talk, write to someone. I'm here if you need anything," you write down, giving Izuku the notebook back. "Oh, yeah, you're right. What about you? Where are you going home?" Izuku writes down, then gets up, dusting clothes off. I live alone," you write down, giving him the notebook, also getting up and dusting off some of your clothes. "Oh, okay, well, see you tomorrow then. Are you going to be here in the same spot tomorrow at lunch?" Izuku writes down, giving you the notebook and walking towards the roof door. "Yeah, I am. Okay, see you tomorrow." Izuku gives you the notebook and walks home. You walk home, kicking the rocks on the street as you look down. Once you got home, you threw your backpack on the floor, walking into your room. You take off your clothes to take a shower, then lay on your bed thinking, "Did I make a friend today? Probably not. I'm just gonna go to sleep for now. Tomorrow will be the same as always." You get under your blankets and go to sleep. You woke up at the same time every morning, got dressed, ate breakfast, then walked to your class, sit down, and read your book. The teacher never calls on you because he knows you can't even hear him. You don't pay attention, you just like reading your book, and then the lunch bell rings. You get up and go to the rooftop to read your book or draw. Then you felt vibrations coming from the stairs, signaling someone is coming up. You then see the door open, and it's Izuku. He looks like he was just pushed or something. His clothes were ripped and they had burn marks on them. You could see that he had scratches on his body. You got up, worried, running to him, seeing if something was wrong. You signed frantically, "Are you okay? Who did this to you?" Izuku gets a notebook and writes down, "It's okay. I'm okay. Don't worry. Is it okay if I just sit with you for a while?" You nod your head yes, and you go back to where you were sitting. You grab your stuff out of your backpack and you start to fix his clothes. You sewed them back together and you got some stuff to clean his cuts. You fixed him up. "Lay down and rest, or do you want to read with me or draw?" You give him the notebook. He had also looked tired. "Is it okay if I lay down and sleep? But can you wake me up when lunch is over?" You nod in agreement, so he lays down on top of you, like you did before. You're surprised, but you let him because he seemed like he just wanted to sleep. You were glad that you could help someone. About 30 minutes later, you felt the vibrations of the lunch bell ringing, so you woke him up. "Lunch just ended. Time to go back to class." You gave Izuku the notebook while he was sleepily rubbing his eyes. Reading it, Izuku signed, "Thank you." You were surprised, but you signed back. "You're welcome." Izuku got up and so did you. You both went back to class. At the end of the day, you were walking home when you saw a blonde boy talking to Izuku and 3 other boys following behind them, so you thought, those are probably his friends. You walked home, opened the door, and went to your room. You looked in your backpack to see if you had any homework to do. "Nope, I have nothing to do. Well, looks like I'm going back to drawing." You think to yourself. You draw for a while, then you go back to reading, and then you look at the time. It's 8 p.m. You think to yourself, well, it's time to go to bed. So you took a shower, put your pajamas on, and went to sleep. So for the next few months, you and Izuku became close friends. Izuku has put on the same weight because you made him eat, and he has started learning to sign so he could communicate with you better. And you started to learn lip reading. You and him would talk at lunch on the rooftop. You guys would share different opinions on different books that you read and he has read. You guys would look at each other's drawings. You liked the way he would draw heroes, and in his hero book, he liked your drawings too, especially the ones of nature and buildings. He saw a picture of the view of the city from where you sat at lunch. Sometimes he would come crying to you, but you knew how to calm him down. You never asked anything about his personal life. You just let him tell you on his own, and he would tell you that he was being bullied because he didn't have a quirk. You would tell him that people were too scared to talk to you because of your quirk, or you were a freak because you didn't speak. You shared your story, how your parents abandoned you because your quirk was villainous and that they didn't want to get hurt, so you were put in an orphanage. But as soon as you got old enough, you got a job and moved into a house because you didn't like being stuck there with people who didn't care about you. You would cry sometimes, but it didn't make any noise, so you didn't activate your quirk. Izuku signs to you, "It's okay, you're not dangerous, and I like your quirk." You would calm down and be thankful to him that Izuku was there, until one day when all things changed. You were sitting there on the rooftop at lunch, like always, reading your book. You were looking at your watch. You saw Izuku was late until a few multiple vibrations coming from the stairs like someone is running from someone else. You get up to open the door, but the door swung open. You see Izuku run into your arms and run behind you. You see a blonde boy which would seem to have an explosion quirk, and 3 other boys right behind him. You turn around and look over at him to see that he has a lot of bruises, burn marks, and you could see that his clothes are ripped. You looked at him crying and shaking, and you sighed, "What happened?" With an angry look on your face, Izuku signs back, "Help me please, they're hurting me, and please be careful if they're going to hurt you too." You sign back, "It's okay, they're not going to hurt you anymore, and they're not going to hurt me. Just stay behind me, okay?" Izuku nods, shaking his head. You turn around to see the blonde boy appearing to be yelling, but you couldn't hear him, so you signed, "Please stop, and stay away from Izuku, leave him alone, and go away." But it seemed like he couldn't understand you. You keep walking towards him making bigger explosions in his hands. You keep telling him to stop in sign language, but he's just not listening or not understanding. You start to even get mad, and you forgot about your quirk, and you say out loud, "Why are you doing this?" Then all of a sudden, a big shockwave went towards the 4 boys, sending them flying back into a wall. You stand there in shock and horror at what you just done. You haven't spoken in years, and you used your quirk against somebody without thinking. You run, and you run as fast as you can, as far as your legs could take you. You don't know where you're going, but you're just running. You're scared, thinking, "I killed them, I killed them, I killed them." Then you say out loud, "I killed them," sending another shockwave, destroying everything that is in sight. You just don't know what to do at this point. You can hear all the screaming and all the breaking and buildings getting smashed by the shockwaves you've created. You're going into an alleyway, and you stay there, crying silently as possible to not activate your quirk. You can feel the vibrations of people running and cars moving across the street. You had gotten used to the feeling of what certain vibrations were since you couldn't hear. You stay in the alleyway, crying. Sorry, I just thought I had to add something, because that was the end. Oh my god, this was so long, and this was only chapter 1. You guys, loves, I am being persistent. So again, this was not the one I was supposed to be reading today. However, she did finish this, and I did want to read it. And honestly, I think halfway through I zoned out. I really think halfway through I zoned out. But I kept reading, and I was still understanding, but I was just staring at the screen reading. I don't know how to explain it, but I understood the story. Does that make sense? Have any of you ever did that? Okay, but this was chapter 1. This one was titled Beginning. I think I actually read it pretty well. I don't think I made a lot of mistakes. However, I did talk, so I'll put that at the end of the video if I'm not lazy. This one is not down. Okay, bye loves.